quiet, it's starting.
The All Color Tribe podcast presents Black Injun, Ballad number 1, A Labor Alliance, an all-cast audio epic starring MF Rex, Themba, Allene, Aimee Davis, and Melissa K. Marks as King Mel, and Melissa McCarthy as Big Motherfucker. Oh yeah, free Leonard Pelletier already? Howdy, hi, and what's happening, y'all? It's another wonderful day here on the All Color Tribe podcast as we get ready to hop into the Great American Tale, Black Injun, Ballad number 1, A Labor Alliance. As per usual, I am BW Sun, and I'd like to thank you for coming and hanging out with me for a spell while we indulge in some audible action. Like I always do about this time, I want to urge you to scroll on back to episode 1 and begin there. If this is your first time joining us, go ahead. We'll wait. Alright, now that we're all on the same page, so to speak, I want to remind you that when we last left off, Black Injun, Big Motherfucker, and Aella had just left Melville to begin a quest of finding filched females. Traveling with the fringe farmer Wercon Spargo, we head into the outskirts of the Melvillian kingdom in hopes for clues, if not more. Like the ladies themselves. Spoiler, we are color culture here at All Color Tribe, and they might have given that away. But, with that said, we use a lot of colorful language. At this time, you should be fully aware of what's in store, or you didn't do as I said and go back and listen from episode 1. Fair enough. You're gonna be you. All that taken care of, though, let's say we hop into the dope shit, shall we? Enjoy.
Chapter 17, A Wednesday with Wercon. The sun is sitting high in the noontime sky. The trio, with Wercon Spargo along to lead the way, travel the road out to the fringe. In the buggy, Big Motherfucker and Aella play slapsies. The girl is quite quick with her hands. With donkey and horse trotting side by side, Wercon Spargo has spent most of the ride thus far recounting his life story to Black Injun.
Other than the gonorrhea, she was as good as a woman could get. Kept me on the straight and narrow, that's for sure. Girls are both a spitting image of her, I tell ya. Going on 6 years since she passed.
Sounds like you caught a good one, Spargo.
Caught had nothing to do about it. It was her who did all the picking. I won best in show for my hog at the Harvest Festival, and she walked right up and said right then and there that she was the woman I was to marry. Took me behind a tree and did things my cousin never done. We was just kids.
So how'd she get gonorrhea?
Traveling preacher. But it don't count for nothing being a holy man and all. She was still a virgin in the eyes of the Lord.
Back in the buggy, Big Motherfucker surprises Aella smacking the tops of her hands hard, and they travel on. Eventually the game ends, and Biggins takes to napping. This results in him leaning onto the already smushed Aella. Crushed, she struggles and manages to emancipate an arm. She licks and burrows a finger far into Big Motherfucker's ear. He wakes in a squirmy surprise. Black Injun has managed to guide his and Wercon's conversation to the more current and potentially more noteworthy topic of his missing daughters.
So how long ago was it they went missing?
Going on a month now. Not strange to be gone a week, maybe even 2. They've always done come home.
And they wasn't the first to go, you said?
No, they wasn't. At least 5 girls done gone missing since last spring, I'd say.
Any whisperings about where they going?
Can't say nothing for certain, but the gossip is that they're being taken out east. Some say it's paranormal, but I ain't of that mind. Most of the horrible things I've seen in this world been perpetrated by a man, mortal same as you and me.
You ain't lying. There's a whole lot of east out here, Spargo. Whole lot of east.
The sky slowly transitions through a presentation of pastels as the sun and moon begin their process of trading places. The small troop is not far from the Spargo family farm. Wercon points it out ahead. Black Injun is the only one to see. Aella has joined Big Motherfucker in slumber, head resting and mouth drooling on the big man. The mules know what to do when they finally reach the farm, and after a couple of minutes, Big Motherfucker wakes and shakes Aella to rise with him. Black Injun and Wercon left them outside and are already in the small house. There are several huts apart from the main dwelling, most likely where the daughters stayed, Biggins thinks. Inside it isn't much, especially after being in King Mel's palace, but it's warm, dry, and has a kindly embrace about it. Big Motherfucker and Aella take a seat at the small table with Black Injun, while Wercon spoons room temperature chili into bowls for everyone. After the foods have been handed out, he goes to the cupboard and pulls a dusty bottle out before returning to his seat with some jars. He pours a fair amount into each glass, the last one getting half as much as the other three.
Too young for a full spot, miss. Some things in this world shouldn't be missed for youth. This wine is older than all of us. My daddy made it. Here's to y'all. Bless you for what you're doing.
The 4 glasses tink with another. Cheering, they all drink.
God damn, that's some good shit there. You're a good man, Wercon. You and your daddy.
Wercon smiles proudly while Big Motherfucker nods along in agreement. Aya's face twists like all young faces do when first experience good, strong spirits. But the second sip isn't as bad as the first, and the third has her thinking she could get to like the stuff. Wercon pours a bit more into each man's glass before returning the bottle to sit for another occasion of company.
Look, Spargo, I want to help you out. Go find your daughters and bring them back, but telling me to go east ain't gonna help a heap. Might end up clearing the Union, and I doubt they got that far.
Can't say nothing for certain. Lord knows I wish I could. There's a bar out near New Cochise.
Sure they weren't taken by MS? If they was, we won't be able to get them back.
Can tell you ain't from round here. MS ain't far, but they ain't that close. Might seem like the boogie monster for tourists, but they have a country. They don't need to steal women. They got women. They got everything they need. Ain't saying they ain't nothing to fear, but they aren't bandits in the night. They show up, they're taking the kingdom, not my daughters.
Fair enough. But I need something. Fuck, I need somewhere to start. Somewhere that's more specific than go east.
Like I was saying, there's a bar out near New Cochise, right on the road. Sorrowwood Saloon. Never been. Ain't the kind of place for a wholesome man, but that's why it comes to mind, I suppose.
Well, it's better than east. Guess that's where we'll start.
Are you using water right now? Remember, if we don't use it all now, we won't get as much next year. And if we don't get it, that means someone else will. Is that what you want? Someone else to have our water? I didn't think so. Remember, every drop counts, because if we can't have it, no one will. This has been a message from the human race.
Chapter 18. So Goes the Road to Sorrowwood. Aella is again squeezed into the buggy with Biggins as they quietly travel the next day, still a tad hungover from whatever it was in the bottle that Wercon had shared with them. It was tasty, but it made for a tough go in the morning. After a while, they came upon the dead corpses of a couple, killed and stripped bare in the looting. Whatever the killers didn't take, somebody else eventually did. They don't rubberneck. It's several hours before they stop to relieve themselves. Black Injun barters a loaf of bread for some beans he tells the young boys, shepherding their family sheep, will grow money trees. The boys are young and only know how to tend sheep, so the trade seems legit. For lunch, the trio enjoys a hunk of sourdough as they continue on with the ride. Eventually, Black Injun needs another rest stop. He's peeing when something random gives his horse a jump and starts to gallop off. Black Injun doesn't think before springing to action, his stick still in his hand, legs running through his own piss as he goes after the quadruped. Big Motherfucker and Aella enjoy a good laugh at his expense while he recovers the beast. They ride on. Late in the afternoon, Aella interrupts the natural ambience while watching the horse walk alongside her buggy with Black Injun on back.
What should we name the horse? The mules are named Miguel and Hidalgo. Every animal needs a name.
Every animal, huh? How about Brown?
Brown? That's a boring name.
It's a horse. I doubt it gives a fuck.
How about Lightning?
Fuck do I care? Go for it.
Big Motherfucker taps Aella to give her an enthusiastic 2 thumbs up, trying to counter Black Injun's lack of interest.
In September 1787, Abigail Adams asked her husband not to forget the women when drafting the Constitution of the United States. It would seem that his story would repeat itself as our lesser half mansplains to us our best interests. Ladies, it's our time, and we need to fight for our future on all fronts. And in doing so, it's never been more difficult and exhausting to be a woman. Not ever. That's why you need something to revitalize and rejuvenate while fighting the right fight. And that something is Nana's Own, an organic, gluten-free energy alternative packed with probiotics and antioxidants to keep both X chromosomes at 100%. Made with natural ingredients like parsley, pennyroyal, black cohosh, and Queen Anne's lace, Nana's Own will put a pep in your step to stomp out inequality. Nana's Own is an underling affiliate of the human race and not approved by the FDA.
Chapter 19. The Sorrowwood Saloon. It's dark when they arrive at the Sorrowwood Saloon. A couple of patrons fraternize outside. One bum has fallen asleep, still standing with a cigarette dangling from his lip and still lit. A lone fiddler's tunes squeak out from the interior. Inside, the licks get louder, but most folks in the place are more interested in the alcohol than the entertainment. A shame she's not half bad at what she's doing. Black Injun, with Big Motherfucker and Aella behind him, makes straight for the bartender. A brown man, looking far out of place in a joint like this, moves to the bar, not far from Black Injun. It doesn't go unnoticed. Hard to miss a guy in glasses. The bartender, Perch, is a mutate. Thanks to all the nuclear bombs that got thrown around back in the day, a lot of DNA got all shuffled up, resulting in all kinds of abnormalities. With a few generations for mutations to marinate, some were becoming quite pronounced. Perch was mostly man, but some bird genes seemed to be spliced in there as random feathers stuck out from his skin, and he has a weird, fleshy beak.
What can I get you?
2 beers and a temple.
Perch makes quick with the drinks. Black Injun places a larger-than-would-be-expected bill on the rough wood grain bar, but holds a finger so it can't go anywhere.
Heard rumors of some girls gone missing. You know anything about it?
Couldn't say, mister.
Anybody here who might?
Black Injun's finger taps down on the money. The brown man who settled sideline at the bar casually wanders off without ordering or receiving anything. Perch looks around the bar, part to see who's around and part to see who's around. His words are whispers.
Man over there, he's a slaver. Realize his name. Only deals in women.
Being new at this, Aella turns her head hard and looks directly at the man Perch has indicated without any attempt at being inconspicuous. Rila is a greasy, hairy-knuckled man who's gone a long while without having a hunger pain. His table is littered with dishes that had once worn food, and there's a thin, pale woman sitting on his knee. She's physically present, but her eyes have a vacancy that confirms her mental location unknown. The brown man, who just walked off, is telling Rila something before joining an adjacent table of goons. Black Injun's finger slides backwards, at the bar, revealing a second, smaller bill under the larger one. It's the smaller one he leaves for Perch, who is visibly irked by the gesture.
Thank you.
Black Injun leaves his companion at the bar and strides over to Rila, taking a seat at the man's table without invitation. The slaver raises an eyebrow to his new table-mate. The brown man, along with the other goons at the adjoining table, stir, but are stayed in place with a growl from their apparent boss. With one hand around the skinny pale woman, the other is rested out of sight under the table.
You Rila the slaver?
I'm Rila, the businessman. Who the fuck are you?
My bad, bruh. Ain't trying to offend none. I'm the one and only man, myth, and goddamn living legend, Black Injun.
Black Injun extends his right hand for a shake, but the action goes nowhere. Rila won't lift his hand from under the table to shake back, so Black Injun retracts.
I ain't never heard of ya. Fuck you want, man, myth, and legend?
Heard you might know something about some missing girls.
Badlands is full of missing girls. Hell, ain't a girl in the world who ain't missed by some mark.
These girls are a bit more localized, Dick. Gone missing recently, all since last spring.
I'm not in the business of stealing women. Too much fucking trouble if you ask me. I can't help you. African Apache, whatever your fucking name is.
Black Injun. Don't deal with womenfolk in your line of business, do you?
My clients don't partake in the local stock. They have more classical tastes.
Yeah, bruh? Classical taste. I have to try me some of that sometime. It tastes different?
Rila doesn't so much answer as he just looks at Black Injun mildly insulted and grandly unentertained.
All right. Well, I don't want to waste your time. That bird-brained bartender said that you could tell me something. Should have known better than to trust a mutate.
Back behind the bar, Perch tries to look busy and not mind the dire glare Rila and the goons dart his way. The self-stated businessman pokes at the skinny, pale woman's tit. She doesn't seem to notice or mind.
Good luck with your mission, bitches.
Black Injun thanks him for the well wishes and stands from the chair to leave.
That little thing you and your pal came in with, she ain't lost, is she? Something like that could catch a good price up north. What's local to one is exotic to another. When it's all just the same gash, go figure.
This time it's Black Injun who isn't entertained, watching Rila look over at Aella, whose attention is on the fiddler. The gunshot booms loud within Sorrowwood, and the skinny pale woman shrieks. Rila is only wearing half his head. The eye that's still there looks surprised. He gargles something and dies. The brown man is the first of the goons up to his feet. The butt of Black Injun's pistol slams into his face. His glasses shatter into his eyeballs. He's an unconscious heap on the ground. Black Injun cuts the other goons down before they can make any effort of retribution. The Sorrowwood's other patrons, unnerved, draw arms and take swings, popping off a bloody brawl that consumes the establishment. Big Motherfucker tosses Aella behind the bar for safety and enters the scuffle.
Biggins! Get this guy!
Black Injun is pointing down at the unconscious brown man with the now broken glasses. Big Motherfucker punches and pushes his way through the clashing crowd. Blood, body parts, bullets, bottles, and bar stools fill the air as the skirmish rages on unfocused. His pistol clicks empty before a maniac with a butcher's knife and a septum ring rushes him. Black Injun pulls the maniac to the ground, thanks to the nasal ornament, and the tomahawk follows with haste, breaking the maniac's skull and showing what he really knew. Not far away, two faces collide, smashing into each other between Big Motherfucker's big hands before he heaves the brown man over his shoulder.
Let's get the fuck!
Biggins doesn't contest. Behind the bar, Aella shields herself from the falling shards of glass and splashing alcohol. Feet from her, Perch is coward, useless and blubbering. A body topples over the bar. Undead, it rises as a man. He looks up in rage and sees Aella. He pulls out a knife lodged in his side, frees it, and turns it toward her. Crawling, the man slashes, nicking her leg, and a line of red rises from her skin before migrating southward. She hurls half a bottle at him only for it to be deflected. Brandishing the gifted .22, Aella shakily points it at the man. She's scared. He grabs her ankle, but Black Injun's tomahawk comes down, slicing into the man's skull until sticking between the crossed eyes. Yanking the tomahawk from head, Black Injun reaches out to Aella.
When the gun has bullets, you pull the trigger. That's the next part.
Helping her up to her feet, they join Big Motherfucker, still carrying the brown man, and make an exit as the fight continues to go strong. The pale skinny woman is still screaming on Rila's lap. A lantern is knocked over. The booze on the floor ignites, and the Sorrowwood proves to be just as much tinderbox as cantina. Those who can get out, they do. Perch ends up standing outside, searching the flames for a decent reason that this is happening to him. The fire doesn't so much answer as it does burn his business down. Next to him, the drunk who'd fallen asleep while standing, is awake and see he surely slept through quite an ordeal. Seeing Perch, the swollen sponge of a man offers up his most encouraging words.
I had an ex-boyfriend. Cut off my testicles. I didn't want a cat. What I'm telling you is, it can always get worse. Remember, you still got your balls.
Perch looks at the man and decides he doesn't buy it. Sometimes, just sometimes, things actually hit the far end of the horrible spectrum and are truly as bad as they can get. For Perch, he was living in that exact moment. He takes a couple of steps and picks up the gun that's been dropped in the Exodus. He lifts it to his head and pulls the trigger. The gun is empty. Perch's worst day ever refuses any relief. The roof collapses, and so ends the skinny, pale woman's screams.
remember you still got your balls, or your ovaries, depending, regardless. Let them chromosome-carrying circulars and them lady bits hang, and keep on keeping on. Pretty sure that's what we're supposed to take away from today's episode. Knowing is half the battle and whatnot. Never lose hope, even if your whole life is on fire in front of you. That said, this weekend, feel free to do some research into supervolcanoes if you feel like taking a walk into the grim side of things while you wait for the ACTP to return next week. Real shit, a volcano in Venezuela once erupted and fucked up the weather patterns of Earth, cooling the globe so much that it messed with a lot of people's crops, even all the way over in Europe. With that, rats on the countryside figured they didn't feel like starving with the dumb hairless apes of the day, and they headed on back to the cities where they knew some food would be stashed for a rainy day. With the heightened rat population in cities, a disease we call the Black Plague was able to do quite a bit more damage than we would have supposed. Nature. Sheesh. Well, alright, I hope you enjoyed today's educational entertainment, and we hope you join us next week for more of the Great American Tale, Black Injun, Ballad number 1, A Labor Alliance. If you just want to hear how it ends already, head on over to allcolortribe.com and pick up the unabridged version for just $6. Comes with 20 minutes of missing chapters and a sneak peek into Ballad number 2. Just saying, we'd really like the support. If you can't do that, just tell all your buddies to check it out. We'd enjoy that too. We love to have listeners. Alright, y'all. Love, peace, and be safe out there for real. Now, as far as I can figure, only way we get better people is by being better to them children who grow up to be the people. So let's put an end to child abuse in its many forms. If you need help doing so, please contact any of the following ASAP. Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline, 1-800-422-4453. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children Tip Line, 1-800-843-5678. RAIN's National Sexual Abuse Hotline, 1-800-656-4673. Our future is on us from here on out, folks. If we let them ruin what's left, then we can only blame ourselves for the failing. All Color Tribe, Futuro Amplificande Studium.